Hello, my name is Brian Litke, and I'll be showing you the Professional Learning Communities Assessment Revised online. I'll start off by talking about what is the PLCA-R, what does the questionnaire look like, what kind of reports you'll see after you collect data, and I'll show you how to request a demo account and tell you how much it costs to use the online version of the PLCA-R. I'm going to start off on the CETL website at cetl.org/PLC. This is kind of our starting point for all things professional learning communities at CETL. In the left-hand side navigation, you'll see things like links to our books, some short briefs, success stories, and professional development for PLC. But today we're going to be talking about the PLCA Revised. So the Professional Learning Communities Assessment Revised is a questionnaire that has a series of statements about practices that occur in schools, and people that participate in the survey use a 4-point scale to respond to questions, and then those numbers add up to give a ranking along 6 different dimensions of a PLC. And we see those here: shared and supportive leadership, shared values and vision, collective learning and application, shared personal practice, supportive conditions and relationships, and supportive condition structures. On this webpage, you'll also see some other links for some more information about the validity, reliability, and how to interpret the results. We also see it kind of highlighting some of the benefits of using the online version of the PLCA-R, that it's easy to use to quickly customize a questionnaire. You can customize it with additional questions to collect data, and you can look at multiple views of the data. We'll be talking about that in a second. So as far as getting a demo account to the PLCA-R online, you can send an email to products@sedl.org, and we have that on the web page in case you forget it or look at it later. So you can request a demo account. Should you choose to use this for your particular study, the surveys cost $1 per survey completion. So if you're going to be surveying 200 people, it would cost $200. Or if you were surveying 100 people twice, it would be $200, 100 for the first survey of 100, and then 100 for the second survey of 100. So what does the survey itself look like? I'm going to show you a Microsoft Word document that shows a print version of the PLCA-R Revised. We see that it's got some directions and a scale: strongly disagree, disagree, agree, and strongly agree, that have numbers associated with them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we were giving this in print, we would see a survey somewhat like this, where people went ahead and filled out, maybe with a pencil, whether they disagreed or agreed with particular statements that line up to dimensions of a professional learning community, such as shared and supportive leadership. So if someone was filling this out, they might respond with some ratings, include some comments for that section. They'd get to the next section, which deals with another dimension, shared values and vision. We see the questions that are related to that, and so on and so forth through the different dimensions of a professional learning community. So you can imagine if you had 100 participants and each one filled this out in paper, you've got a lot of math to do to kind of add these things up. So what I want to do next is show you what this looks like in an online version of the survey. So if we were taking this online, let's say you've already gotten access to the PLCA-R administration site online and you've customized some additional questions, your survey might look like this. And so as we look, we see our directions again. But before we get to our standard 52 questions in the PLCA-R survey, we see some additional questions that were set up by the survey administrator. So we're asking what building or campus the person belongs to. This is just a sample, so I've got some elementary schools, some middle schools, and some high schools listed here. We've got questions that might allow us to tease apart data based on grade level, so we could later on view a slice of the data pie to see a PLC report for just our elementary schools versus the middle schools and the high schools to see if there's any differences. And we could also look at other things such as the position to see if school level administrators feel the same way about their PLC as the teachers and administrative support staff. There's a variety of questions that you could ask. This particular survey asks years of teaching experience, the number of years this person's been at the school. There's also a couple questions that allow the user to select all that apply, like what grade level they teach. So maybe certain grade levels are operating as a effective professional learning community and other grade levels not so much so. And maybe the survey would let you tease apart how different grade levels are functioning as a PLC in your school. There's also a question about content area, highest degree obtained by the participant, and gender. So you could choose to include these or not as you see fit. And then it gets down to the actual scaled questions that someone would fill out. And once they filled out the survey, they would submit their responses. And on the administrative site, you'd be able to see the data reported to you immediately. So one other thing that I wanted to show you here is what that report looks like. So I'll give you a little glimpse of a report that's already been generated off of some data that's come in. This one kind of matches that survey that I just showed, where we had a question about the user's position, and we gave them options to select school level administrator, teacher, or support staff. And now that the data has come in, we can see with these line graphs, we've got the administrative support staffs in green, the teachers are in blue, and the administrators in red. We can see here that the school level administrators have a perception of the PLCs operating at a higher level of efficiency than maybe the teachers or the administrative staff do. And all the math has been done for you to generate these graphs. And we can also see here the number of counts of people that identify themselves as school administrator. We can see the mean score for each of the dimensions of the professional learning community. And we can also see a score for the standard deviation for those mean scores. So that finishes up our first part of this presentation on the PLCA-R online, what it is, what it looks like, and how you get access to it.